are you saying that it is impossible for one to have his conversion within the four walls of a school of theology?
Theology is in part sense knowledge. You end up being filled with sense knowledge. And sense knowledge is blindness to the Word of God. The Word of God makes you be filled with the attributes of God, makes you be able to forgive, makes you be kind. But when that spirit is not there, how can you be this? In fact, schools of theology has made Christianity upside down. It's creating inequality, bringing people that should be considered as honorable. And because of that, they also have brought in some kinds of titles to suit their level of education. An average man that is called a reverend, call him brother, you see, he'll be angry. That is the problem now. So it does not allow for the truth about Christianity to come out. So those people who go and come, or you are there, you'll be fed with some tricks, sense knowledge, because everything is about material wealth, how to come out. And the whole thing it has made Christianity become a business of making money. In fact, that has given room to cultism and secret society, because everything is sense knowledge. And since it is sense knowledge religious, and as you come out, for people to rely on you as one that is now working with the power of God, you need to convince the people that you truly have the power of God. And that is why good people, they just go to one place or the other to acquire power, to show signs. And that exposes them, that makes them freely have them. And that has given room for them, putting themselves into one kind of thing, or putting their hands on one kind of things or the other, giving room for them to be members of cults and secret societies. It is all about money. And it has brought and made criminals to go into the Bible schools, because it has been made a new way of making money.
Like a business.
A lucrative business. And so natural men are going into the Bible schools and coming out to be church owners, to be men of God, to be pastors. And so the whole thing is now upside down. The church, the whole thing about Christianity has now been turned into a business of making money. And the world is so confused that people do not know the real truth about Christ, about God anymore. Of course, they are going to claim.
They had the voice of God as well.
Oh, no, of course. Will you say God does not call them? If somebody tells you that God called me, will you? There is a personal experience. And things of God are things you cannot verify. You cannot say, show me proof. And if you say proof, if you say, show me proof, he will show you magic, signs and wonders. That is the problem. So it has made the devil. Of course, Christ said, learning will increase. And that's why the devil has succeeded in trying gradually overthrowing. The Bible tells us that the time will come when Jerusalem shall be trodden. Jerusalem, we are talking about the Jerusalem that descended from above as bride of the Lamb. When it is trodden down, you see the man of sin in the temple, sitting there, making himself God. And he will oppose everything that is called God. He will oppose love, oppose kindness, gentleness. All these attributes of God will no longer be there. It will make the people be filled with hatred, lying, revenge. People will glory in lie. The more you deceive them, they know it's a lie, but they are rejoicing. And today it has gone to the extent of comedians are always coming to speak more lies and entertain the people.
Yes, sir. It looks as if you're condemning, even when I don't know how true, that we should be very careful in condemning others so that will not be. So I don't know. I want you to.
This is not condemnation. Christ said, because he said the word of God is given by inspiration and is profitable for correction, for reproof, or doctrine, so that those who want to be God will be thoroughly furnished and be perfect into all good works. And Christ told us that if you judge righteous judgment. 1 Corinthians 5. We are talking about, I'm not talking about unbelievers. I'm talking about somebody that calls himself a believer, but the way is not right. So that those of us who say we are believers, who may be able to identify when the devil is trying to do something to take us away from the truth. He said that 1 Corinthians 5, from verse 9 down, if you see any man who calls himself a Christian, but you come to find out that is a fornicator, is a railer, a deceiver, a liar, say don't even eat with him. Separate that man from you. That we don't have time to judge people who are outside the church, but those inside the church who call themselves Christians, we have right to judge, to know which action is right, which action is not right. Because this is the only way you can do to save the people. Ezekiel said, God told Ezekiel, I've made you a watchman. If you see the enemy coming to take the people out, you do not sound warning. If they are taken away, I require their blood from you. But if you sound a warning, but they continue to embrace or to remain there until they are taken away by the devil or by their enemy, I will not require their blood from you. You are free. And Christ told you, whatever I tell you, climb the housetop and shout. Don't mince words, just because the devil is very powerful. And he has so blinded the people, leading the world to destruction. And so if you do not have the boldness to speak out, to sound one, to make people know the real truth, nobody will be saved. But if you do it, you have a crown.
Yeah, talking about boldness now, can you be bold enough to recommend what should be happening to some of these schools of theology, given all that you've said here today?
No, you cannot. I'm talking generally of the things that are done which are contrary to God. I don't need to go to them because, of course, Paul went to the school of Tyrannus, but we have a government. We have freedom of speech, freedom of worship. You don't need to go to fight against anybody, but nobody has restricted us from speaking the truth. So we speak generally for everybody. I'm not just talking to them. I'm talking to those that would have been victims, that those that would have been deceived by the devil, so that they will get the understanding of the right thing, and they will rightly divide the word of truth, so that Satan will not deceive them.